Hi guys, welcome to webinar number 8, and this is on Google Sites. This is the last webinar that we will have, and then we'll be starting to redo the webinar starting from number 1 again after Thanksgiving. So just as a reminder, if your screen is blurry at all on YouTube, down here in the settings of the video, click on it and change the quality to the highest it can be. Sometimes it might just be auto, or it might be one of the lower ones, and then the image will actually be kind of blurry. So make sure you change it to the highest quality that you have. So we are going to first get to Google Sites. So we'll open a new tab. And in order to access Google Sites, you can either go to the Apps Launcher up here and click on it, and then you can find sites, or you can just type it into the search bar here. So now that we're over here, it shows the sites that I already have, or it shows that I can create a new one. So for this, we're going to create a new one. Now, we have two options. We have the classic sites, which is actually what the videos are in the lessons, are the classic sites. However, the last week or two, Google put out their new sites. So just to kind of give you guys an overview of the new site, since we don't go over it in the lesson, I'm actually going to create it in the new sites. And you can always go back and forth between the two if you want to. So here we have our home page. Up here we can title our site. So we can say and if we want to title our page, we can just click on it. I really like the new sites because it's much easier to change the title. You know, your formatting is a lot easier. It's a lot easier to see how it looks. It's really more of a drag and drop type of website, unlike the old sites where you had to it was kind of finicky and you kind of had to move things around. So this is our home page, and if we want to add or insert anything, we just go over to the right here. So as you can see, we can insert a text box, an image, we can embed something from a URL, we can upload our own document, whatever we want, image, whatever it may be, or we can also add things from Drive. So we'll look at those in a second. So let's say we want to add a text box. It automatically comes in up here. So I can say now, if I want to add say I want to add an image, I can, same thing, upload by URL, search YouTube, Google Drive, whatever it may be. Let's go to Google Drive. Let's go into search. I'll just look up education, see what we can find. I'm going to put this in here, and we're going to select it. Now, the best thing about sites also is that you can change the size really easily. You can move things around. So let's make this a whole page, you know, the whole nice and big. And notice how, notice how when I hover over it, this section kind of pops up. And same thing here, it kind of pops up. This is so we can actually move it around. So we can actually put it up and down. So that way you can kind of create almost a bunch of sections, and if you want to move it back up, you can move it down. It's kind of the same way as in forms, where you can move the questions back and forth. Same thing, and it makes it really easy to edit it as well. If you want to change the background color, you can. You can emphasize it. You know, if there's something you really want to stand out. We can make an image if we wanted to. and then we can always delete it. So if you just click delete, it'll automatically disappear. So it's really nice and easy way to organize things, to move things around on your website. So you can kind of just create a bunch of sections and then move it around however you feel and how you think it will fit nicely. If you want to change the image up here, just hover over it. Same thing. You have a bunch of different things that you can choose from. Let's say I want to use that. There we go. We can also change the header type. So if we want it to be large, if we want it to be a little banner, or say we just want the title. And this up here is called a banner. Just so you know, if you see that other places, it's called the banner, what's at the top of the website. So let's now insert a new page. So what we're going to do that was click Pages and click on the plus button. So let's say we want to add a calendar. Done. So same as on our home page, we can insert different things. Since this is a calendar page, let's say we just want to insert a calendar. So maybe we can have, oh, I made an extra one by accident, we'll delete that. So maybe first we want to insert our schedule just for students or class. Change it around. So we'll go to embed a calendar. And now we can choose our calendar that we want to add in. So let's say I want to insert this first one. So this is my class. This is my calendar. Same as with the image, I can stretch it out. I can make it small. Make it this way. And notice how the section actually adjusts with it. So you can actually make it as big or as small as you want, however you think it will fit nicely. And now let's add another text box. And we can say English calendar. We can go to calendar. And we can insert the English one. So this way, you could actually have one for if you had every period or if you had different sections of a class. If you maybe were a special ed teacher and you taught different subjects altogether, you could have different calendars on this page, and so the students knew exactly which one related to them. Let's create another page. We'll call it homework. Here, we're going to insert something from our drive. So we're going to go from drive. And actually, I'm going to insert a document. So if you knew exactly what you wanted, if you knew it was a doc, a slide, a sheet, whatever it may be, you can go right down here. If you're trying to look for it, go to My Drive. Like I said, I was mistaken. I know exactly what I want. I want a doc, so I'll click on it. I'll click on what I want, and then I'll insert it. Now notice how only part of the document is actually showing. As I make it bigger, more of the document is showing. However, if you see this little button right here, open a new tab, this way I can now edit it if I want to over here, and then it's over here too. So if I want to make it nice and small, I could, because then when I go to preview it, when the students click on it, it opens up the whole thing. And then they have the document right there. So technically, when it's in here, I don't need to have it really big. so they can see the whole thing. I could just have little icons up with all the homework, and cause then when they click on it, it'll be the whole full document, and they'll be able to save it to their drive, download it as a PDF, whatever it may be. Same thing if you want to insert docs, slide. So let's say we're going to insert a form. We'll insert the form actually this webinar. For the webinar form that you guys do the survey, we'll insert that. See how that creates a new section as well? And it's the same thing. We don't have to have the full thing. We can create it, make it really big, but technically we don't really need to, because if we go preview, it's right here. And you can actually fill it in right on here, and I can scroll through the form myself just like this. I don't have to scroll the whole page. I can just scroll through the form right here. So that makes it really easy for you to be able to upload different documents, so students have access to everything. If you want to embed a URL, so say you want to embed a link to a Google Drive folder, you can do that right here. You just take it, you put in the URL, and it'll go there. Say if I want to bring them to history.com, there's the link right there. When they click on it, it'll bring them automatically there. So you could also bring them, like I said, to a whole Google Drive if you want, if you had a folder set up for just that. So let's say I go to my drive, I create a new folder. I get this link, and I go back, and I want to embed the URL. The drive will actually be there. So I have nothing in the folder right now, so you won't see it, but if we go to preview, and if we click on this little button, it brings us here. There's no preview available because there's nothing in the document, in the folder, but if there was, you'd be able to see it, you'd be able to preview it. You could always open it with, if you have Drive, Docs, whatever it may be, it'll let you open it. Let's go back. A couple final things that are helpful to know. You have themes. So if you wanted to change the theme of this, see how it's kind of bland, you can change it here. And if you click on home, it changes the way the banner looks. If you click on your pages, and if you tuck something underneath one, so right now see how it goes one home, calendar, homework, they're all equal with one another. If you were to drag one underneath, let's see here. Okay. Sorry, that didn't seem to be working. So, see how they're all equal? If I were to take the homework and connect it, drag it on top of calendar, it actually makes it a sub page. if I want to take Untitled, drag it under, and I have 2 subpages to calendar. So now if you hover over the calendar button, it actually shows homework and then the Untitled page. So at the top, it only shows home and calendar, but under calendar, you have homework and Untitled. If I wanted to make homework its own, there we go. Another good thing, I was kind of going back and forth with this, is the preview button. It lets you see what it looks like from an actual, someone that's watching it, that's viewing this page, that's on it. There's our subcalendar. We have our home page. We can switch to our homework page. It's nice and easy, nice navigation around. A couple other things that you can do. If you need help with anything, you can always take a tour. It will kind of walk you through the new parts of it. And if you want to add anyone to edit it, you can do that here. So you can share it. So if you have a co-teacher, if maybe the students are creating this, they want to share it with you, they're creating their own site, they can share it right there. So with this little Add Editors page, you have that. If you go click on this button back here, it'll bring you back to Sites Home. So now here's my new site. It's not showing the old ones from the go back to Classics. If you want to go back to Classic Sites, you just click on this button right here. It'll bring you back. From here, we can rename it, we can remove it, or we can open up a new tab if we want to see it somewhere else. Kind of similar to docs and forms and sheets. If you're on their page, you can sort by who owns it. If you have a lot of them, you can change the list view, you can sort it, and you can open File Picker. And then here's your navigation back to other apps if you want to go back to somewhere else. If you want to create one, you just click there. And if we go back to our classics, we're back at our classic sites where we can click on one. And like I said, it's the same as we went over this in the lesson in Module 8, so I'm not going to go over it as much. I really wanted to just show you the new sites because some people are kind of confused with the way it looks. I think it's a lot easier to use and navigate around, and hopefully you guys do too, and you're able to make some really cool sites with it. So last thing is we have the survey. So please answer that. Take a couple minutes. It should only take 1 to 2 minutes. Answer the couple questions. If you have any questions at all, please post them on the right next to the right in the chat section of the video, so I can answer any questions that you guys might have. And if you don't have any questions, that's fine. Feel free to shoot me an email, and I will talk to you guys soon. All right, bye. Alright, since no one seems to have any questions, I'm going to sign off. If you do think of anything, just shoot me an email, and I will talk to you guys later. Have a good night.